I'm about to go live. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's been another long month before we met again. I hope you've been good as I have been. I have been very well since then. I hope you have been as well. So this is Joy Alabiunde again. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so today it's a beautiful day. We're having with us. So yeah, before we go on, some days ago was my birthday. Here. And I got loads of love. Thank you so much for everyone that reached out from NextGen Africa. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much, dear friends. Thank you, mentees, mentors, everyone. I'm so grateful. I had a beautiful day because of your kind words, your prayers, your well wishings, and all of that. God bless you. From the depth of my heart, I'm so grateful. So back to the order of the day. Today we have with us Mr. Emmanuel, and we're going to be talking about relationship management in career building. And I know I always say that, oh, the topic is a beautiful one. Oh, this topic is so important in your growth. It's so pertinent to what you have to do and how you have to succeed. But this particular one is germane. I mean, because like I wrote in my mail, if you got my mail, you could have a lot of degrees. You could be a deliverer. You could be someone that always delivers on their timelines. You could be that education needs. But if you do not have the skill, if you do not have hand with you the skill of managing people well, communicating right, emotional intelligence, knowing how to network, and knowing how to maximize your relationships, you might not actually enjoy 100% to the level at which you would have in career. So that's why this topic, as we are discussing today, it gives me so much joy to bring this topic to you. And I want you to listen, ask your questions. If you're alive joining us, please ask your questions. Don't be shy. There is no stupid question here. Trust me. And when you ask those questions, we would treat them and you would get good insights. This meeting is going to really transform the way you look at things, and it's going to bring you to a place where you have proper perceptions to other things and how you handle your work life going forward. So I'm going to introduce you to our speaker today. Most of you might know him, but at the same time, I'm sure there's some 1, 2, 3 persons that don't know him yet. So I'm gonna give you the insights to who you're listening to today. Mr. Emmanuel Onosami is currently partners at Cardinal Professional Services, LPP, a firm focused on delivering creative business solutions to its clients. Prior to leading the firm, he worked with Andersen in Nigeria as a senior manager, where he was part of the pioneer team and was crucial to the development of the practice and the overall success as recorded by the firm. He started his professional consulting career in KPMG Professional Services, where he worked in the firm's tax and regulation services division. Emmanuel has supervised and managed more than 250 consulting projects for large multinationals, enterprises, and domestic businesses, and he has balanced experience in corporate finance, regulatory, tax, and transfer pricing services across industry sectors. That's big. Emmanuel has over a decade of experience providing professional service to businesses across the globe. He is also a household guest on Business Show in Nigeria's TVC media space, providing expert options on business and economic related issues. Like I said, that's why I said you might have known him, because if you watch TVC often, you must have seen his face 1, 2, or 3 times. He is also the visionary of Network of Professional Formations, an international organization focused on nations advocacy and support. So before I bring him back to the show, before I bring him right here to speak, I would like to introduce the topic. I remember I was speaking with someone recently about how, he was having issues, at work, and he actually had this coming. This was his third boss or job, and it looked like, okay, he's quite very brilliant, very articulate, intelligent young man. But he was having it difficult at work, not in pay. They always had to pay him well, but there was always this friction with him and his next supervisor, and it always looked like they didn't want him to shine, like they were scared of his shine. And of course, that's part of it. But really, I just, and to say that this is actually a topic we're going to be discussing this month is just beautiful. I had to sit him down to say 1, 2, 3, or 4 things, and I'm sure those things are going to be treated here. But really, no matter who you are, how intelligent you are, no matter who your boss is, or who you're having to deal with, or if you are this or that, there's always a level of insight in relationship management that can shove you off any kind of stress that is not necessary in your career growth. And I will come back to this story after this session. So join with me with an applause to bring on the timeline Mr. Emmanuel Onosome. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Emmanuel.
Oh, thank you very much, JK, for having me today. Let me ask you for a favor. Always constantly remind me that we are not in a faith-based gathering, so that I don't switch. You get. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I think you've done a good job of providing a background to what we want to discuss today. And if you are joining us online or wherever you're joining us from, I want to let you know that you are in the right space, this morning, and the insights you're going to get from this conversation is not going to be jargon-like in nature. It should be very simple, practical, and based on experiences. A bit of background to my professional career. I started my journey with KPMG in Nigeria, a professional firm, providing consulting services. Then I left KPMG to join Andersen, the regrets of Andersen in Nigeria, and after that, I made a decision to take a step, out there and take that entrepreneurial risk, and I can tell you vividly that one of the things that have been responsible for the confidence, your ability to do some things that are aspirational, that you may have been dreaming of, is how well you have built, your relationship throughout the journey. And those are the things that we want to discuss today. If I have the permission to share my screen, I think I want us to just go straight into the conversation. Please confirm if you can now see my screen from your end, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So very briefly, in the next 20 to 25, 30 minutes, I just want to set the context, before we get into the Q&A section, and the context about relationship management in career building is pretty simple. And the way I want you to understand this is that I am not a textbook person like that. I always like to simplify things so that people get it. Let's start from what a career is. What is your appreciation of a career? And this is the way I appreciate what a career is. Is you striving to develop or get an expertise in a line of endeavors for impact and livelihood. It's as simple as that. I will come again with that, so that you can get it. you trying to get a career, what you're trying to do is developing, acquiring expertise in a field of endeavor, for the purpose of impact, impact underscore as the very first thing, and also likelihood. You can't just do impact and not. Let's be sincere with ourselves. Everybody expects that our career, also help us to make ends meet at the end of the day. Okay, so having laid that foundational understanding, the next thing I then want you to understand is that, look, the current employment you are on currently, or the current job you're doing, even if you are, self-employed, as the case may be, for the purpose of the larger audience, there's something that you need to appreciate, that the only way you are able to make impact, with the knowledge you have, with the technical expertise you have, with the talents that God has given to you, whatever it may be that you are offering to the market, is because there is a relationship that enables you to deliver impact and earn livelihoods through that, through that talent. If the employer did not establish the employee-employer relationship, then of the truth, your knowledge will remain with you. You won't be able to impact anybody, and then livelihood may also be far-fetched. And also, even more for somebody that's self-employed, no matter how talented you are, no matter how well you can do a job, if nobody trusts you and they are willing, to give you the opportunity to the relationships that you have with them, then you are unable to, deliver value, from that particular, skill set that you have. Am I trying to downplay the importance of having technical competence? No, that is not the message. I think the least that you can ever need, as a professional, as a business person, is that you are very good at your onions. You are that thing you are taking to your market, the offering you are taking to the market, you are more like, the go-to person for that solution. You should strive to attain that. That is not in dispute. You should strive to attain that. But notwithstanding, I will let you have an appreciation today that as you are striving to get that, even depending on the level of your career, whether you are a beginner, your startup phase of your career, or you are in the mid career years, or you are already experienced, running to over 10 years in your field, there may be need for you to focus on one or two things more than each other, and we are going to get to that, And but largely, the appreciation I want you to have before I start running through my slides, and is that, look, your ability to impact, your society, and your ability to deliver value through the technical competencies that you have is how good your relationship is. You understand? You may be the person that has the solution to all the problem in the world. If nobody is giving you the opportunity to come and deploy that solution, you understand, then then the value will not be delivered, you understand? And that is why it is important that as you are building your career, one of the KPIs that you are tracking while building your career is that month on month, quarter on quarter, year on year, what is the progression with my relationship building, and what is the quality of the relationship I'm building? You understand? Is it a relationship that I can access anytime I need to access them? Or is it a relationship that I need to grind, you understand, before I can get value from that relationship? Another thing I also want to bring your mind to is that the world generally, operates largely, based on relationship. And it's not just a Nigerian thing, it's not an African thing. Let's not start that bias now, you understand? Globally, you understand, you see people more tilted to their friends, somebody that has helped them in the past, somebody that has added value to their life in the past. And when they have the opportunity, to also assist that person, they are more yielded, you understand, towards assisting that person. Let me give you a scenario. You have two people that can do a job as equally good, you understand. One is your friend, the other is not your friend. Your answer is as good as mine. Who will you give the job to? You know, obviously, you understand, because they can equally deliver on the job, but you are likely going to tilt in the direction of your friend, because what is the essence of being your friend if you are not able to use your, position to actually improve, the livelihood or the career or the, the opportunity impacts that that person can, deliver to his society. Okay, I've been on my slide for a while, but I think this background, comment is very, very important to setting the tone, for the next 10 to 15 minutes that we're going to have this conversation. Think on this. Avi Mackey, I believe we all know Avi Mackey. Avi Mackey said something profound. He said, your career success is directly proportional to the quality of your relationships, and look at that quote again, just think on it. The quote says, your career success is directly proportional, to the quality of your relationship at any level, whether you are a year 1 career person or you are a year 50 career person. How well you're going to do at each level of your career actually speaks to the, the quality, of your relationships. You want to agree with me on that largely. You understand? And taking it from the perspective of a beginner, one of the things that I typically tell people is that, look, during my career, growing up in my career, my supervisor, one of the very first objective, when I'm in any environment, work environment, is that all my supervisors, I want to make them my friends. Not to necessarily, not deliver on the job, but I believe that, when I make my supervisors my friend, I deliberately invest in that, KPI. You understand? I can be pretty sure that, I will be able to get the right support that I need, for me to succeed at that level that I am. You understand? And for me, that's really helped me. I had a testimony that I have one of my supervisors that, committed to dropping me at home for more than months, during my days in one of the firm I worked for. You understand? And, the people were wondering that what is going on between this junior and this senior, because I am very deliberate to say that I understand that if you are first my friend and I'm not going to abuse the relationship, you understand, I believe my life will be easier. You understand, getting the right knowledge, getting the right support for me to be able to deliver the kind of value that I really want to deliver to my organization and to my society at large. I also tell you that when your supervisors are your friends, your work-life balance will also leap. You understand? So you want to look at this code again for the last time before we progress, and say your career success is directly, is a direct, relationship, with the quality of your, relationships. So this speaks to the fact that then as a career person, even if your organization is not tracking the quality of your relationship, it is important that you as a person, you are tracking how well you're doing, in building, relationship in your career, and let me paint this concept. People wonder that there are some top level, employee. I was in a conversation about 2 weeks ago, and we are having conversation about C-suite employee and their remuneration, and people were like, oh, what are these guys doing exactly that they get paid this much? You could see some C-suite employee going on with over in excess of $1 million package, annually. And you're wondering that this guy comes to the office noon, by 3 o'clock, he's carrying his golf bag, he's going to the golf to go and play golf. And you're wondering that we are grinding the numbers, we are not as heavily compensated as this guy. What I want you to understand, from this conversation is that, look, the person that agreed, to pay that guy in excess of $1 million, a ticket, as an employee, he's not asking for the guy's technical skill. Obviously, he's asking for what the guy has developed over the years, such that, the person is hoping that if I have an issue with a regulator, this guy has the contacts that can potentially resolve it. If I need to source something in CAC, NAFDAC, EFCC, Nigerian police, you understand? And this guy brings the value to the business on a, on a constant basis. So your ability to actually command premium in your career is not necessarily hinged on the technical expertise. Your ability to command premium, in your career is largely hinged on the quality of relationship you have. And the quality of relationship you have also speak about how resourceful you can ever, get, the quality of relationship you have speaks to how resourceful you can ever, become as a person, And the truth is that you don't necessarily have to know how to solve every problem. You understand? What is required for you is that you know somebody that can solve that problem. You understand? And that speaks to the value of the quality of relationship you have. So I'm hiring a CFO now. I obviously the CFO may not necessarily know how to solve all the problems, but I want to expect that when it comes to delivering on the job description of that CFO, the CFO has the right relationships, that can potentially, assist the organization, to get the kind of results, that we desire. I believe we got that, and for you to be able to command premium in your career, you have to be able to track the quality of your, relationship development along your career. Another thing I want you to know is that, people progress together. You understand? I remember then, when I started afresh, KPMG, we work for clients, we go to client office, you make relationships with your clients, you become your clients' friends, and I will even get to that because there's a way becoming your client's friends, actually make your life easier. I remember a scenario that I was a supervisor on a particular job and one of my team member bungled. I think something happened. The person fired an email, confidential information in quotes, that's meant to be for another client to another client. Wow. You understand? And it is a bad situation. You understand? And all I could just think of is that my relationship needs to speak for me here. So I picked up my phone. I called this guy. I said, I need your help now. Not only in the fact that I want you to delete this on your computer. I want you to, get all your colleagues to delete it. You understand? I also want you to get your IT department to make sure that this thing no longer has any trace on your server. You understand? If I didn't make the guy my friend, he would not be willing to go the extra length. You understand? And that was how I was able to douse that issue because that would have constituted a major matter. You understand? How could you make such a mistake? You understand? As a consultant, you should be unheard of. You understand? So the guy was committed the whole process, and I was so glad that I decided to make that. So what it means is that even when you try to strive to put in your best on your job, you strive. There are some times that we are humans. You can make error. The quality of your relationship will excuse you some of the errors you are making on the job. You understand? So if you are the one that's at work, you are constantly having it very full of friction, with your supervisors, I think you need to invest more in managing your relationships and doing the things that will make sure that your relationship begin to count for you in your career progression. And we will get to some of the benefits of paying enough time, investing in this. I don't know if I can share my screen back for briefly, and look at this slide, a bit of theoretical definition and a bit of caveat. Let me thank Sarah for assisting me with this slide. I believe she's also, joined them, so I don't own the slides. I'm just picking through the slides. Okay, thank you very much. Back to the so what is a relationship? So a relationship is any connection, association, or bond between two or more individuals, entities, or group. It's pretty straightforward. We don't have to dwell so much on that. And relationship management is how you are strategic enough and intentional in the process of building, nurturing, maintaining, you know, various stakeholders, including colleagues, clients, partners, and other relevant parties, regulators, governments, you know, all these relationships are very, very important, you know, in making sure that you are able to command value from your career, even as you progress. Okay, so importance of relationship management in career success. So I think I've mentioned a bit on this. I will just quickly run through it. So if you have good relationship at work, your support system will be very fine. Do you understand? And cast your mind back to the African culture, you know, unlike the Western culture. You know, in African culture, you know, they will say that it's not one person that takes care of a child. You give birth to a child, your family member comes around, your support system, because, you know, that is the way the relationship works down here. In the same manner, when you have good relationships, you'll be appearing like a superstar at work, not knowing fully well that it's actually your support system that are your enablers. So you can see that it is your quality of your relationship that is enabling your super performance, you know, at work, enhanced collaboration, professional reputation. Do you understand? I bet it to I know someone, you know, I won't mention him for confidentiality, that, you know, the person is not necessarily the best when it comes to the person is not necessarily the best when it comes to commanding the technical expertise. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But when it comes to opening any doors in these countries and beyond, the person, you understand, can open any door. And what do I realize? You know, I was observing this person. I said, this person is actually making progress in his career even faster than those people that can command the best technical, you know, skill on their job. You understand? Not to encourage mediocrity, but I'm trying to tell you that the market places more premium on the value of the quality of your relationships. Because let me tell you the truth, even if you're a year one staff today, and you have relationship that can bring business to the organization, your boss will like you now. You understand what I'm trying to say? Joy, am I not saying this? Am I not saying your mind? You understand?
Yes,
Learning, you understand? Learning and growth will become easy for you because you have a lot of channels to tap from. I used to play a trick then, you know, let me put the trick out there, you know, for during my days in KPMG and Anderson, you know, to enable my performance. You know, if a supervisor gives me a task and I'm not very sure about how to go about the task, I will likely not go back to that supervisor and ask how to go about the task. I will now go and look for the friend of that supervisor, which is also my friend. I will go and meet that friend. I say, this person gave me this task. How do you think I should deliver? How do you think I should deliver on this that I will super impress this person? And the person will now give me hints. This person like this thing to be paragraphed in this way. Put plenty colors on your slides. Put this plan. Wow, correct. So I will now go back, deliver in that manner. When the person asks you, wow, the person will not necessarily know that I've leveraged on my relationship to enable my performance. Do you understand? And that way, people just feel that, Emmanuel, that guy, just give him any task, he will kill it. Just give him any task, he will kill it. You understand? It's not necessarily because I'm killing it alone. I'm killing it using my network of relationships. I'm killing it using my network of relationships. You understand? And even looking at it as a manager, you know, and I want to say this for the benefit of some people in this room. You know, some of us, because of our religious affiliation, we're a bit careful, you know, in developing relationship across faith, you know, and I tell you the truth that, you know, you may be shortchanging yourself. You understand? Because beyond the faith conversation, there are values that are resident in people, you know, that you can actually learn from and leverage from. Do you understand? I stand here, you know, to say that, you know, the best coach that I've had when it comes to career, you know, when it comes to finance, developing my competencies in career. It's not necessarily, we are not necessarily of the same faith. You understand? In fact, I call him the title they call themselves in their religion. You understand? So it is you being able to identify, people around you, their strengths, their weaknesses, and you identify that, no, I need the quality of collaboration that this person is able to add to my own, delivery, and I need you to also hold on to that. I will come to the management side of conversation. Well, I tried a bit on the side of, employee trying to get a relationship at work, for the, also, you will agree with me that, when your team members are largely your friends, your life will be easy because friends can go the extra mile, for themselves. You understand? I lead 2 organizations. I can't possibly do everything myself. You understand? Not necessarily because I want to become friend at the expense of effectiveness or efficiency on the job. All of us, we have an idea of what must be done. Do you understand? It's not in doubt that this task needs to be delivered, but I've realized that, in an environment that is very collegial, you understand, that promote collegiality, you get tasks done faster. People can stay up in the middle of the night till 1 a.m. because they know that, I have to help you. It's as simple as that. Not necessarily because they have an employment. You understand? And they need to deliver on that. So the top-down relationship and the bottom-up relationship is as equally important in making sure that, there is enough lubricant, in the wheel of, the system you find yourself, such that it enables you, to be a super, performer. I'm running out of time and I may need to run very fast. Okay, networking opportunities, definitely. When you manage your relationship, you begin to, get new network. There are some tips that I've highlighted here, so to say that how can you potentially build strong workplace relationship, in the process of developing your careers. Then you need to note some of these things, that you need to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. You need to do a personal SWOT analysis. You understand? So when you do your SWOT analysis, you then identify, these are my areas of strength. I'm willing to assist people with my strength. You understand? That way, people will find you very value-adding, and they too can assist you with their strengths and cover up for you in the areas of your own weaknesses. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Oh, I don't know how to put PowerPoint presentation together, but I know how to generate content. You understand? But my team member, that person, I need that person to be at my back. I say, whatever I put together, I quickly push it through that person and say, deliver for me a super presentation. Do you understand? And the person will deliver for me, not necessarily because I'm the boss, I'm the manager, but because the person is personally committed to me in that sense, in that professional sense. And develop relationship skills. I tell you, people, there are relationship skills to be developed, communication skills. Don't be too I'm introverted. I tell you, when it comes to career building, you need to allow, whatever is in you to help you overcome, that introverted nature. There are levels that you can never get to in your career being introverted. I tell you the truth. There are some levels that your people skills is what we count. You understand? I was telling my management team member yesterday that, look, at this level you are, nobody is looking at your technical skill. Your technical skill is a given. If you don't have the technical skill, you won't get to where you are now. Now, what you need the most is your networking skills, how you're able to leverage your relationship to open up opportunities. Do you understand? There's something I do. I call it contact refreshing. Every day of the week, I set aside 2 hours. I then go through all my contact list. I then begin to call people randomly, just checking on them, not necessarily to ask for a job, not necessarily to do anything. I'm just checking on you. How are you doing? How is life? How is family? But one thing I'm trying to do with that is that I'm giving you that presence of mind about me. At least you know what I do. You understand? So that presence of mind, I'm refreshing it. I'm refreshing it such that anytime there is an opportunity that you think I can deliver on, you will. Emmanuel called me 2 days ago. Emmanuel called me 2 weeks ago. You understand? It's easy for you to remember, but if I don't refresh my contact, I won't be able to do that. So you need to be deliberate about building relationships, getting relationship skills, you understand, and investing in it. One of the things that you need to note about getting a very good relationship skill is that you have to be generous in your mindset. You have to be generous in your mindset. You have to be willing to help others. Otherwise, others will not help you. You understand? In my faith, it's called the priest of seed time and harvest. Do you understand? If you are not willing to help people, you have strengths, you have things that you can do for people. If you are not willing to help people, then people too will not be willing to help you because they will see you as transactional. You don't want to be perceived as transactional, obviously. Do you understand? Like, it's only when you need favor, you check on people. It's only when, you understand? But when you have used your value to deliver value for other people, people will be willing to go the extra mile also for you, and proactive listening skills. You want to engage people, listen to them, hear them out. People just love people that love to listen. I tell you the truth. During my days in one of the firm I worked for, I got an award, the most welcoming employee. Everybody loves to come around. We listen, we accommodate you, hear you out, you understand? And that way, you understand? There was a time I've left one of the firm, you understand? And there was an issue that broke out within the firm. And they were looking to get insight. And the management of the firm had to call me and to say that, do you have insight about this thing that happened? But unfortunately, they did not bring the matter to me, but because most issues always come to my table, you understand? And so I said, unfortunately, they did not bring this matter to me, so I don't have information. You understand? So that tells you that you have to be very welcoming in your approach and don't smile. People love people that smile. You cannot be carrying stern faces up and down. Everybody will run away. You should ponle. You understand? You understand what I'm trying to say? You need to put on that makeup called smile. You understand? So that you can be attractive. You can be attractive. People will come to you and and there are some things that you also need to do to ensure that you are constantly attractive. Number one, you have to be best at what you're doing. You have to have excellent skills. People love all these traits, because people want to associate with success. You understand? And when they come around, you can use that opportunity to also identify the strengths they have to put on the table. They may not be good technically, but the person may be the son of the next person that will open the next billion-dollar contract for you. So I'm interested in the relationship anyways. So I'll build the relationship notwithstanding the level. You understand? And you have to, empathy and emotional intelligence is key. Empathy. Always put on the shoe of the people you are working with. There's this saying that said that people don't really care about how you do something, but until they know how much you care. I don't know. Please help me. You understand with that quote. You understand? People don't really care on what you do until they care. They know so much on how much you care. You understand?
People don't care how much you know.
Okay, you get. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You understand about them. So you need to be that as a leader, as a follower. It's not just a skill for leaders, it's also for followership. You understand? Because one day you as a follower, as an executor in the team, you will also still get to that leadership cadre. And if you don't, learn all these skills, you won't find it handed then. So I also say something that one of the best way you can also build relationship is that you have to develop global visibility across the organization. Volunteer to be part of team projects outside your normal department. You know, some people, they are very, you understand, on their desk, I'm a receivable manager. That is the only thing I do. You are shortchanging yourself. Oh. Remember that you need to constantly evaluate the quality of it. You need to build relationship across the organization, because one of the things that the job is actually paying you is the relationship you are getting on the job. Do you understand? I tell people that, look, if you pick up a job, there are things that you must be able to get on that job that, apart from the salary is the least reward you are getting from an employment. I want you to note that. Your salary is the least reward you are getting from an employment. The first you should get from an employment is professional development. If any job is not developing you professionally, even if they are paying you handsomely, I would rather you look for one that is developing you professionally, because what you will take out of that job is the number of problems you can solve. You understand? That will become yours. And secondly, the job must be able to afford you to develop quality relationship, both internally and externally. Do you understand? In building your career, those are the things that you will take out of any job that you know that this one is now my own. You understand? I was confident to step out and say that I want to go and start my consulting firm. Not because, I had a magic wand, but because I checked it. I said, I have some goodwill with some people. Do you understand? Even the people that I left their firm, the door is still very much open. They refer jobs to me. You understand? They say, Emmanuel, this client cannot pay our bills. Can you take it up? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's as simple as that. You don't want to leave any door locked, because you are careful about the fact that you may need to access that relationship, in the future, and you don't want to leave any door locked. Don't leave any employment with friction. It's not worth it. Because what it means is that everything that you have gained in relationship, on that job, you want to close the door. That means all your salary from the relationship perspective, from that job, you want to let it go. You understand? You must make sure that, every, somebody, I had a conversation some few days ago. Somebody said, I see you liking KPMG posts on social media, Anderson posts, but they are your competitors. And why are you doing that? I think you should promote your own brand. I said, look at you. Am I going to become who I am if these people don't invest in me? Then I will be very ungrateful, you understand, if I say that these people are now my competitor. I don't see them as my competitor. They are my big brother. They are doing this business at their own level. I'm doing it at my own level. You understand? And I believe that as I progress, you understand, I will get there one day. But now we are not competitors. You understand? We are not. You understand? We are not competitors. I will be gladly ungrateful for me to have that mindset of saying that because I'm now doing the same business. No. They were responsible for you that you are seeing, apart from God, making all the journey smooth. You understand? They contributed to your, development skill. They gave you access to relationships. There are some doors I can enter today. If not for the fact that I passed through KPMG, Henderson, I won't be able to enter those doors. There are some phone numbers on my contact list today. It's because I was there. You understand? I was doing the job, and that's why I have that asset. You understand? So there has to be that mindset shift that you need to be able to say that if I'm leaving any employment at all, I must go with my relationship assets. You don't want to let it go. You must go with your relationship asset because you will need it. You will need it. Internal relationship, external relationship. Remember that the person you started your journey with as a year one, after spending, the person is also progressing. Maybe the person is now the CFO of one organization and you have a very good relationship with the person. That means you can actually access opportunity with that person. I do tell people that, look, I don't think I owe my children too many assets like that. Yes, the Bible, my faith said that a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. You understand? But I think there is more value in the inheritance of relationship, quality relationship that you can give to your children. That is my belief. You understand? That your children wants to access anything, anywhere, any place, and you say, don't worry. Hope you know how to do the job. The answer is yes. Then don't worry, you will get access. I want to call somebody in CBN. I know somebody. I want to call somebody in World Bank. I know somebody. I know some. I want. Do you understand? It is actually more valuable. You understand than whatever you may think that properties and all that. Yes, properties are good. I'm not disputing that. But invest in the quality of your relationship, because even beyond your own career, you can also live your relationships as inheritances. You understand? You've heard about stories, of people saying, Omo, you are the son of so, but don't worry, you have gotten the job. That did not really do anything. You understand? Only what did that actually did was to make sure that that relationship is good enough to participate opportunities for him and his generation. So beyond your career, so there are some tips for how you can build relationship. You can identify yourself, identify your weakness, and seek relationship that will help you close those weaknesses. Attend meetings and companies events. Don't be too stiff. I'm not saying you should go and do things that are against your faith. I don't do them. I don't go to clubs. It's a public knowledge. You understand? I don't go to clubs, but there are some networking events, industry events, social events that are not necessarily harmful to your faith. You can participate. Do you understand? And if you don't have reservation about other gatherings, you can graduate. Let me tell you the truth. Quality, you can't stop investing in relationship. There is no end to it. You have to keep, investing in it. Be proactive about introducing yourself to a new team member. There is a magic it does. A new person comes into an organization, the person is still trying to find balance. And you just throw yourself on that person and say, hello, Pali, how are you? My name is Emmanuel. How are you doing? Hope you're... And the person just feel immediately comfortable. There is an impression you give to that person that I can always go back to Emmanuel for issues. Do you understand? Be proactive. You understand? In introducing yourself, to new team members and all that. I spoke about generous mindset earlier. I said, whatever you have, be willing to use it to help others, because by that way, people will identify you as not being transactional. So you should be ready to practice empathy, give freely, show kindness, celebrate others, share knowledge freely, and volunteer to help people. That way you are endearing yourself. During my professional days in one of the firms I work, I used to have a boss. All the regulators, their son is doing wedding, they are burying their parent. I just wonder, why is this person going to all these events? All his Saturdays is filled up. I now realize that this person is doing something. Anytime we have issues, this is the only person within the firm that can resolve the issue with the regulator without them asking for anything. I said, so this is the magic, because they identify that you have been there for them. So they have to also be there for you. It's just the principle of reciprocity. You understand? And you must be willing to track that. And lastly, let me share my screen as I wrap up. Apologies, I've stayed short beyond the time allotted, but I think it has been an interesting conversation so far. No, in closing, Stephen Covey, said something, said, building and repairing relationships are long-term investments. I want to emphasize on repairing relationships, and that's where I want to leave it. You understand? There are some relationships that you have in the past that you cannot currently access. I want to encourage you to go and you repair those relationships, because those relationships have value locked in themselves. For some of us, our secondary school relationship, we can't access them any longer. Our investing relationship, they're already going bad. You understand? It's only maybe work relationship that we still have. You can leverage some skills around refreshing this contact, reaching out to some of them, attending, alumni conversation, just to refresh this relationship with the view of putting minimum investment. Remember, it's a long-term investment that has, almost like an eternal value, when it comes to delivering in value for you. So that's where I want to rest my initial thoughts in this conversation. We've spent a bit of time. Apologies, JHK, over to you. Let me stop sharing.
Wow, what a time. I knew you were going to spill the time. I knew the time I gave you was not enough. Like, with what you have to share with all the slides. I'm sure you didn't even go through all your slides.
I didn't.
But I know. I know, but it was well worth the time. I mean, I will add my notes full here. Because it's just amazing. Really, your network is actually your net worth, because you would not work a job for life, no matter how much you love what you do. You will not be able to be a 9 to 5 for a long time. There are times that you would have to move out and do something else, but you must make sure that you're able to transit any level of career, any level of life, managing and going along with your relationships. It's a whole lot. I have secondary school friends that I still remember their birthday like every year, and I call them, I send them messages. It's intentional. You have to intentionally invest in those relationships. And as a person, if you're working, and then you need to know that you can only pull out of a relationship as much as you have invested in it. There's some things, everybody's busy, but no matter how busy you are, some people can stop you on your tracks and say, I need this done. And you know that you just have to attend to it. Even if it's not very convenient, you'd be like, okay, this person, I just cannot say no to this person. For some reasons, you feel obliged to go out of your way to get it done for them. But there's some people that, even though you're a good person, even though it's not like you want to blot out anybody's request, but it's just not so much priority compared to other things that you have to do at that time. And even in your mind, you're like, I will get back to this, but you see yourself stalling 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because they've not invested as much in the relationship they have with you. So you want to be intentional. It's not like you can say, oh, this person is not important, so I won't invest. This person is not. No. It's just that at every stage in life, you must maximize the relationship you have and invest in the ones you don't know who anybody's going to be. I'm sure some of you here, maybe you have a secondary school mate that you never thought was going to be the big name that is sitting in a very important position today. And then maybe you're even going through a trouble and you feel like, I wish I kept relationship with this Taiwan girl. See this girl, she's just shining up and down. So that is how it is. I remember I was telling a friend of mine that, see, I know this person, we finished school together. She will remember me, but I just feel like I wish I'd connected more. We were not really close in school, but we could have been, because we're even in the same we're in the same class throughout, our senior secondary school. But it happens, it's life. But the ones you have, around you, the ones you're close, make sure that you're investing in it. Like you mentioned a very salient point, do the refreshing, the contact refreshing. It's something I'm taking personally from this chart. Do a contact refreshing, set out time while you go and just say, hey, I'm still here. Hope you're breathing and fine. Hi, be good. We do that with commercials. That's what we do with commercials. That's what we do in marketing. I'm not in marketing, I'm a business leader, but I know that's what we do in marketing. You want to constantly put your brand in front of people. You want to constantly make your people know that, your customers know that, hey, we're still in business, it's us.
You're they have to know.
Telling them, yes, you're constantly telling them, hi, have you bought oil today? It's also palm oil, all those kind of things. I'm just saying, I'm not marketing for palm oil. So yeah, so you have to constantly remind others that you are, another thing I wanted to address is that, like you said, the Bible said that, a good man leave good inheritance for their children and children's children. And most of the time when we talk inheritances, people think, oh, houses, cars, and all of that. But will your name open doors for your children or close doors for them? Some people have money, but they have such a bad reputation that their children are going through unnecessary issues just because of them. Some of them might even have to leave the country just because of their parents' misbehaviors, And there's some people that are having it the other way around. I remember when I was going to enter university, my great-grandpa just pulled out a jotter from his table and wrote, "This is my granddaughter. Take care of him." And I went to OAU Ayoguruku's office with it. In fact, went on the floor like this. In fact, I did not even sit on the waiting. I did not sit on the waiting chair. I went straight into his office with that jotter. It was a church jotter, you know, those church bulletin. It was not even well cut. He just signed on it, you know. And throughout my stay in OAU, I always had a house, a hostel. I always had a house. People will say they don't get accommodation. I always got accommodation. He made sure that I was taken care of. And that was all. It's because why? He was one of the people that invested in his own education when he was young. And then it was there for him. So it is life. It's you will reap out from you. It's like you mentioned, it is actually salary. There's much more to earn from your relationship at work than the paycheck. If you have it in your mind that there is much more to earn from your relationship at work than your paycheck, you would actually put a lot of priority on that relationship. I want us to go into question and answers now. We have some interesting questions. I already shared them on our direct message. And I want us to address it because of time, because I'm sure we will still have a lot to discuss on these questions. So
Okay.
let me
We'll
read
try
out.
to make it very snappy and straight to
Yeah,
the
we will
point.
try to. We
Okay.
must try to. So this one, the first question says, as a manager of people, I notice that whenever I try to build relationship with my subordinates, their commitment to work drops. They start to flop, and I want to switch, and I have to switch back to my boss mode to get the job done. Please advise me on how to balance up on this.
Okay, thank you very much. And let me first speak to the other side of it, that if you don't be their friends and they find you very transactional, let me tell you that people don't leave employment, they leave the boss. You understand? They leave their manager. You understand? And if you are a top person, one of the very strong KPI that will be measured is how you are able to keep your team, you understand, and get their loyalty to the organization. And I want to say that so that you identify that it's important for you to not switch to that small word and say, do my job or I sack you. You understand? It's not always a way to get the job done. I think most of the time the issue is that we don't sell and share the vision enough. You understand? And when, for me personally, everybody in my organization, they know where we are going. You understand? And they know what is in it for them as we are going there. Do you understand? So if I have any job, I call everybody together. We do a project meeting. We say, this is what we want to deliver for this person. This is the timeline we have. We take enough time for everybody to understand the big picture. And I tell you that, look, we are working as a team, but you are the one responsible to deliver this aspect, that aspect of this, total job in order for us to be able to deliver value to the client. Remember that we are friends. You understand? In quotes, you understand? We are friends at work, but not friends. You understand? Just for the purpose of making the environment collegial. I used to have a friend that retired from our place of work then, because every time he sees the building of the office, every morning he starts having palpitations. That I don't know what I'm going to face today. All these my bosses, and he had to resign and go and join another firm. You understand? So that is not the best environment for productivity. So I think you must be able to let your people know that, remember that this is our goal, you understand? And we are going to eat at it. You understand? Notwithstanding, get their buy-in and let everybody work collaboratively. Also tell your team members to communicate. If you are having challenges on any jobs, communicate quickly and let's leverage team strengths to resolve that issue as quickly as possible. I tell you the truth that where everybody shares the corporate visions together, they know that this is what we are trying to deliver. I think even youth, they will track you and say, boss, you are supposed to have reviewed this work. Why have you not reviewed it? We need to send this thing to the client now so that we can bill. I say, I'm sorry. I've apologized many times. So they've been on my neck and say, this thing is on your table. We've not been able to bill because they understand the big picture. Do you understand? And the gist is this, as a boss, you understand, be transparent with your performance metrics. I do tell my people that, look, guys, we are all doing this work together, but we are going to recognize efforts, but we are only going to reward results. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to recognize your efforts, but I'm not going to reward efforts because my client is not paying for efforts. My client will only pay for what? Results. Do you understand? So everybody knows that, look, as I'm doing this thing, EO is measuring productivity. The system is measuring productivity, not necessarily, time you put on the job. You understand? The job has moved beyond 8 to 5. Employees are no longer tracking time. Employers are no longer tracking time. Employers are now tracking productivity.
Yeah.
They are tracking productivity. So at the beginning of the week, we have a team meeting, itemize the things that you are supposed to work with in the course of the week. These are your MITs. Your MITs are your most important task. You understand? For the week. So your MITs, you don't even have any reason not to deliver on them. Because that is the only way we are able to guarantee progress as an organization. So your MITs are there and you have to deliver on them. But other tasks also, let's see the progress that you have made on them. And that way, you yourself, you'll be able to adjudge whether you have been productive or not. Do you understand? And I tell you, at the end of the day, overall productivity is also depending on the manager. So managing everybody to see to it that, you are able to deliver your, and I tell you that you need to always separate people from work. You understand? This is what we are trying to get done. Pali, let's put our friends aside now. This work, I must get it before close of business today. Somebody still sent me work yesterday, 11:30 p.m. Because it doesn't mean, you understand what I'm trying to say? It doesn't mean I'm a bad manager, but there's something we must achieve that we have all agreed to, and I have your buy-in that we are going to do that. And basically that is how I think we should manage it, rather than, getting them to perceive you as a very transactional boss. Do my work. I'm not interested in friendship. I'm not interested in relation. I'm not saying you make them bosom friends. I'm just saying friendship to the level that makes the work environment collegial, enough.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. So I feel like it's just, in summary, it's about the way you build the relationship. It's about the way you build the relationship. It's not to have any hair or to have a superiority mindset to anyone. Everybody is special. There are a lot of things that you're lacking right now. That is somebody who might be your subordinate that is meant to supply that will bring your next shine to your business or to your work or even to your visions. So everybody is special. When you learn to manage relationships, meaning that you're actually able to identify the good thing about someone and you're able to, tap into that good thing and make the best for themselves and also leverage it for yourselves because you're in that relationship. So you're investing. So you should actually enjoy it as well. So, but while doing that, you don't.
There's something in it for you, for them to be your friends.
Yeah, because there's something in it. The same way
because that's subordinate.
That's subordinate. Symbiotic.
That subordinate may leave that organization tomorrow, and the next big ticket you need is coming from the next organization he or she joins.
Exactly. The tables can turn anytime. The tables can turn anytime. Let me give you a gist. So I was a lady that came for an interview with me some 2 years ago, and I have so many of these stories, maybe even because of my line of work. And she actually, I was going to employ her because I actually liked her, but then she sent a message to me and said, oh, she's sorry, this and that, she got a better offer, she won't be able to take this. I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that. I don't mind at all. And then 2 years fast forward, I happened to go to a bank, one of the famous banks in Nigeria, and I needed to get something done, and I don't like to queue. I had somebody there, but she was not on seat, and I didn't know. So I was trying to call somebody else I knew in the bank, and then, before me was this lady. And then she was like, I know you. I was like, oh, from where? And she was like, oh, this, I can't remember the name of the company, but she described it. You interviewed me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, you can still remember. She said, yes, we had fun. And I said, oh, interesting. And she was the one that solved that problem for me that day. And throughout, I had to get her contact. She was like, I remember you asking me this question. I was wondering why you were asking me this kind of question. I was like, really? It was very funny. It was a very funny setup. And yeah, it was saved from stress. Saved from stress. You don't know where you're going to meet people. You can't even put an embargo on anyone. And the most importantly is people that are just starting out in life. They're just starting out. You've never even seen their scratch. So you want to make sure that even if you're managing people, it's an opportunity for you to impact in their lives because you don't know where that can get to. And as much as you're putting that relationship out there, you don't want to make it look like a laissez-faire, bottom rubbing kind of relationship where they will not listen to you or they will take your words for stretch. If you yourself, you know what you're doing, they see you, they see that you're disciplined at your work, they see that you're delivering. There's really no way they are going to slack because they have access to you. It's only if yourself you're not really up to task or you are just, waste faffing, those kind of words that everybody just okay, let us just relax. But you must know how to manage all of those relationships well. And yeah, I'm sure you would get over this. I think we should go now to the next question. Is say, I don't like to look like favor seeking and or sucking up to people. And that's what most of my co-workers do with my boss. How do I build a relationship with him without looking like that? Interesting.
Okay, so thank you very much. I was in that bucket also. In my career, growing up, I got an instruction from my parents, and the instruction was pretty simple. If you want me to be happy with you, and if you want God to be happy with you, don't let any human being take the glory that belongs to God, and that's actually kind of sets my frame of mind. You understand? I saw a lot of these, people when the boss comes in the morning, they go greet the boss, tell the boss, yesterday I delivered on this, this client paid, that kind paid, because they just want to be in the good book of the boss, But I told myself that, that would not be it, because before you know, you will get into some dangerous politics. I'm not saying they are not, every office has politics and you find yourself in one faction or the other. You understand? But don't get into dangerous politics. You understand, in the workplace. So how did I manage this? And the first thing I focused on is ensuring that my deliverables are excellent. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So let me tell you the truth. The people that lack substance, they know them. The bobo, they just put the form as if they can get the job done, but they never get the job done. They know them. But the people that grind and get the job done, they also know them. It may take time, but it will be recognized. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it took me about 2-3 years before I got noticed. Do you understand? By the very top leadership. And I got to even realize that some of my supervisors were deliberately even trying to suppress my being noticed within the organization. But I just kept at it. You understand that doesn't really mean I'm not going to put in my best, so number one, deliver on your job, and always make yourself available to assist. Remember that you can only get value from the relationship you have invested into. So for example, there is the boss is going for a presentation and is looking for somebody that will help, with the presentation slide. You can say, I can offer to help you with the presentation slide. You understand? Not necessarily because you want to put yourself out. You relieve him, you share the slide with him. You are even very far from the presentation. Nobody noticed that you are the one that got the slides ready. You understand? And you offer to help him. I tell you that, bosses like employees that make their life easier. So the way I look at it is that I know my own KPIs and I know my boss's KPIs. So I will pick 1 or 2 things from my boss's KPI and I will take it as part of my own to-dos. So if my boss's KPI is that to follow up with clients to collect money, I will add it to my own KPI. You understand? So when we finish job, I will start calling the client. Say, I want to get the client. The client will say, Emmanuel, it's my guy. He always makes my life easy on this job. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That way or the other, you will start getting noticed. You will start getting noticed. And once you start getting noticed, it's your boss himself that will want to come closer. And once the boss comes closer and wants to understand how you get, there was a time one of my boss called me and said, Emmanuel, there's a way you kind of manage multiple jobs and you don't appear to be under pressure. How do you do it? You understand? Because me, myself, I don't have that capability. Do you understand? Like, you are doing a lot at the same time, but it doesn't, you are still smiling, you are still laughing, you understand? Managing that stress. Because maybe personally, I just believe that it's one thing per time, we will manage time, we will communicate, you understand? And for me, I'm too young to be carrying blood pressure up and down. So I don't want blood pressure. Do you understand? So the guy said, the guy came closer and they said, I would love to learn that skill from you. You understand? And that was the relationship point. So we became friends, we started talking. One of the two things, share my faith with him. I said, okay, there are some times that is your faith that is your enabler. You understand? You understand that is your enabler. You can't just explain it, because you have a cheat in your faith. You understand? Like that you can't just explain it. But like I said, be excellent at your delivery or always, you will be noticed. You understand? You don't need to be in pursuit of men pleasing. No. That is not necessary. Be excellent at your delivery, be committed to your job, offer to assist your boss, before you know, they will gravitate in your direction naturally. You understand? It may take a bit of time, but don't be tired of making that investment.
Yeah, and eventually after you already committed and you keep.
I don't know if I can quickly share the story.
Yeah, sure.
I did my IT with one of the breweries in Nigeria, and is it IT and okay, and IT, my IT COS, OAU then, and we used to have coppers coming to do their service here. So we have this lady copper and then this guy copper. The both of them were the two coppers in my department then. And the guy was just all about his business, because as a guy, you know, if you sell anything anyway, so you just face your work, do your job, and hope that at the end of the day you'll be rewarded for doing your job. So, but this lady was very strategic in her approach. So she dated almost all the bosses in the office. You understand? Like this boss, that boss, had affairs with them with the hope that they will be committed to her. You understand? At the end of the NYC year. But something dramatic happened. You understand? At the end of the NYC year. Ordinarily, they were considering to retain her instead of the guy that was diligent with the work, because they've had some level of intimacy, there are all those things. But all the bosses now had conversation with each other, and they realized that if they retain her, she will create problem within the system. Because you had an affair with me, you had an affair with my boss. You understand? If I give you instruction and you don't want to do it, you go and tell my boss and say, that boy is disturbing me. Do something about it. So all the managers, they had a meeting and said, if we retain this lady, she will cause problem within this organization. So our strategy backfired. Our strategy of men pleasing, trying to do it yourself and not doing it the way you are supposed to. So just focus on your job, focus on your job, stay at it, and in due season you will be noticed.
You will be noticed, and even if you just have a warm charisma, sometimes it's just you do your job well, care about people, and have a sweet and warm charisma. That's all. If it takes just one contact, let it be that from afar, you might not think too much of me. All you need to do is have just one contact with me, and it will be unforgettable. And then you're on your way. You're on your way. I remember one of the places where I had to work, early in my career, I was actually even going in there on an internship, on a graduate internship position and all. And when I got into the role, it was difficult. Everybody had this shop management idea where everybody was just trying to protect their jobs. I don't know why. There was all this very stiff atmosphere. And but I just kept doing what I was doing. I was always delivering more than what they expected. They felt, okay, just do recruitment. I will do recruitment, do talent sourcing, do headhunting, do senior level recruit. What are you doing? Do this one. This project we've been trying to do it for 2 years. Let me see what you can do. I will do it, make it happen. And then one thing, when I was leaving, one thing that most of them, because I actually went back to everybody to get feedback. And one thing one person mentioned to me was that, see, when you came in, I looked at you like one of those girls. So, but there was this particular day we had a talk before an interview. So we're waiting for a candidate to come in, and we spoke. And I'm talking about somebody that was almost like a decade older than me. He said, after that chat, I knew that you're not just like any other lady, that you would actually succeed in life. It stuck with me because I felt like, well, and I was talking to somebody who was next to a CTO in the business. And it's just like that. Just do your work, be diligent at it. Whatever it is that they give you, do it well, do the extras, and be warm, be yourself. Because one thing I've noticed that people that do favor seeking eventually become authoritative bosses. If they ever get to become a boss, they want everybody to seek their favor. They want to command. They want to show that I've arrived, because they did a lot of legwork and a lot of all manner of things to get to where they got to. And that is not graceful. It's not graceful at all.
It is not.
So,
it is not.
Just do your work. Keep at it. Do the extra. Go the extra mile. Be charismatic. Be warm. Be yourself.
Smile.
Be original. And be intelligent. Yeah. And that you don't have any of these issues. We've had a long time talking, and it's been a wonderful time. Talking about relationship management in career building is so intricate. You cannot even exhaust it. You cannot. It's not a topic you can exhaust in one sitting. And a lot of people sometimes hear this, but they don't apply. You have to be intentional in applying. Don't forget that your upbringing, the kind of leadership you've seen over the years have impacted and imprinted on you a lot more than you think. So you need to constantly do self-assessment. How am I appearing to people? What do people think about me? What do my colleagues think about me? What do my superiors think about me? What do my subordinates or the people I'm managing, what do they think about me? How am I appearing to them? What do I need to work on? You need to constantly reassess yourself. How am I representing myself? Because it's so important. Sometimes you have this joyous window. You're not actually seeing how you appear to people. And you need to take feedbacks. You need to be that kind of person that anybody can actually tell the truth without feeling bad about it. Without feeling like, maybe she will just reduce my salary next month or something.
Oh, my appraiser is now red.
Is that right? And everybody is just flattering you up and down. I actually don't believe in flatters. If you flatter too much, I would even start thinking about you. I will start being conscious of you to be careful, because you just be truthful. And people you're dealing with too, they would know. People would actually know. People would actually know. I think this was a Maya Angelou's quote that says that people care much more. They would forget whatever you say to them or you look about, but they would never forget how you make them feel.
The way they feel
around you, they would never forget it. They would never forget it. And that thing is so true. There's some people that every experience you remember about them is sour. You just like, man, I don't know about that. And then there's some people around you that every time you remember any errors, every memory you have about them, when you just remember their name, you're just all blushy, all beautiful. I've had such experiences on different sides. And most of the time in my own journey, I'm constantly trying to be like, okay, I want to be this kind of boss that I experienced with this person, with my colleagues. And I'm like, okay, what are the good things about this lady? Oh, this was how she did her things. This was how she was. I think I can emulate this and emulate that. So you have to also be aware. You have to be self-aware. You have to be constantly evaluate yourself, evaluate the way you appear to people and the way whatever you're doing is perceived. Thank you so very much for this chat. I don't have enough thank you to give for this. But I just want to say it's been a wonderful time chatting with you here.
Thank
And
you,
hopefully some other
JHK.
time in the future we would revisit this topic because there's still a lot.
No, it's fine. Just a final thought, to the
Yes.
audience, and to say, if at all you don't go away with anything, I want you to have a renewed understanding of the composition of your salary on that job. You understand? And, make a commitment to ensure that when you want to leave that job, you go with all your salary. Don't leave anyone behind, you understand? So the number
And even
one,
while on the job too.
while on the job, you have to make sure that you are earning quality relationships. That is one of the pay on the job. You are earning quality professional development, and the least of it is the monthly salary. You understand?
Financial.
So those two have a renewed mindset about what constitutes your pay on the job, going forward.
Yeah.
And lastly, you have to be deliberate about tracking your progression, with relationship building. You must be progressive with your relationship. You must be able to assess that what opportunity can I access with the quality of relationship I have last month? And how have I been able to grow it, into the next month? I have been able to grow it. That is being deliberate about, building relationship in your career. And because your career can only command value leveraging relationship. Relationship is the value enabler for your career. You understand? And
Yeah.
that is why you need to be mindful of that. Thank you for having me, JSK. I think it has been an interesting conversation. I love always, anytime. Hopefully our itinerary will be able to afford it, when you call us. Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you for
I really
having me.
appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right, so we've come to the end of today's chat, and I believe that you've had a lot of light bulb moments. You've picked up 3, 4, 5 things that you want to invest in your own relationship and career journey so far. My joy is that you would be a better person in what you do, and then you would also learn from all of these meetings we've had, series of chats we've had over the course of the months. It is all lined up in this channel. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not. Please do. You would surely get content that will be of enormous value to you on this channel, and you can recommend it to anybody that you know that is building career now. You can recommend it to them so that they can also learn. It's good to learn these things early so you can have a smooth sail on your journey. Thank you so much if you've been here from the beginning till now. Thank you for staying through. I believe you've learned, and if you've been watching this video, you've been joining monthly, please let me know in one of the comments. We got a special package for people who have been joining consistently. Please always comment every time you come in on the live chat so that we can know for sure. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a beautiful time till we see again next month. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.